Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Brian. Today we got another backyard project going on. We're also going to be competing with the neighbor's backyard project. This deck they've been building for about the last 3 months. Kind of looks the same every day, so I'm not really sure what's happening. We're hearing some noise from time to time over there. Hope it's not too intrusive. My wife purchased the 6 foot by 4 foot greenhouse. So the plan is we're going to take this. Of course, it came in a million pieces. And we're going to assemble it and put it right there. At least that's the plan. So initially I'm going to assemble the base so I can get kind of a footprint, dig that out, make a foundation, have some concrete blocks to kind of compensate for the level change and to give it something strong to sit on and maybe increase the height a little bit because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty short. The instructions show all the individual pieces and there's a lot of them. So anyway, we're going to find the base pieces, get this square put together for the base, get the square of the base put together, and then we'll work on the foundation. 'Cause I'm not sure that I trust their measurements. Anyway, most of the hard work, all the pieces came bagged up. The base pieces are actually have the part numbers cut into them. The rest of them have stickers with the part numbers. And it comes with a bag of hardware. So we'll get all this sorted out and get the base put together. I've tried to pick an area largely devoid of dog shit to lay this out. So the parts are, I guess they're laser cut. 11S1, S2, and they go together with the joining plate. Tells me somewhere which one that is. 11 north, 11 south, 11 south, 11 south. And they have the shorter of the joining plates. It slides inside. And there's a bolt. Get them started. And those are 10 millimeter. We're going to put together for now and then we'll come back and get them squared up. So we have an 11E1. I'm assuming they're both 11E1, so they're the same. And they'll go on the short side with these angle brackets. So after a couple hours of digging and leveling, I've come up with this solution. I've run concrete blocks around the part that I need to make up the height, and then here in the front, it's going to be such a pain to dig and all these roots. I ended up getting these half blocks, and I'll turn them this direction. That'll give this front section where the door is a little more support, make it look better. now I need to work on getting that level so my height on each side meets. So for the most part, I'm good with this. I can come back in and cut some of these roots off, backfill this a little bit, put a little gravel in the front. Anyway, I think we're on to putting the rest of this structure together. Next up, C801, C802. I believe they're the channel for the door to slide in. Next up is the C501s. They're the four corners. Looks as though the single hole goes at the bottom, the double holes go at the top, and then this forms the outside of the corner. And don't lose your nuts down the holes. These side panels are C201s. They don't have holes, but that explains the weird shape of the bolts. Acts like a T-slot. The bolt slides up in this slot and then drops through the hole and bolts. And there's one on each side. C2503 goes here, and it will accept, I guess, the side panels and the roof maybe, and so the center uses as a T-bolt setup. And the sides kind of slips behind. And these holes on the ends don't quite line up the greatest. C2001 kind of cross braces the sides. They put a hole in the middle, but no way to get the nut in there and bolt, and don't show it. So I don't know if that happens later or doesn't happen. Next up are C503s, and they each have a letter A, B, C, D. You pre-assemble this corner bracket, and it drops in here in the corner. Gets bolted. C2103 is the peak. And that's going to be a challenge. Left all these on the side loose, but I can go ahead and do the peak because it really doesn't have much adjustment to it. Should help stiffen it up for now. C203A and B support the roof from the back. The top, the T-nut drops in. And the bottom, the same deal. T-nut slides in the channel. I can probably go ahead and tighten those. So the C401, apparently I had it on backwards. The picture is a little deceiving. So I flipped it around. Now it makes a little more sense. So looks as though, where am I? There's a T-slot here. Put 3 bolts in it. On this C601. You line them up with the holes. And stick them through the holes, in theory. All right. And since these bolts aren't captured super tight, it's kind of hard to get them started. I'm just going to flush that up right there. (2002 and 2003, or 2002, 2003 braces. Basically take the bolt out of the bottom support and go to this angle bracket. So on this 2003 support, it utilizes this hole. And over here in this channel, I suppose somewhere in the directions, it told me to drop another bolt in here, but they're so faded and there's no words. So I'll take this one out, drop it down here, and put a new one in the top. I guess for right now we can eyeball levelness. I'll have to repeat this over here. We had some rain this morning, so getting a little bit of a late start. Appears as though next up is the C202 panel, and it has a T-slot. Looks as though it's going to take 3 of them. One at the bottom goes through a hole down here. One will go in the middle. One goes through a hole up at the top. And this is a C1902. Gets this captured bolt. I can get it through the hole. It's bolted through over in this channel. And then that repeats on the opposite side. C1001 goes out here and supports this door track somehow. There's a T-bolt that goes in here with a nut. Which doesn't quite seem right, but anyway. And then here there's a through bolt, kind of a nylon spacer, another nut, and that's what captures this. Pretty sure it has to go that direction, but we can come back and redo that if needed. Doesn't help that directions got wet, even though they're so thin, so lightly printed, they're hard to see. We're going to move on. So next up is a 1301A and B with these C1101s in the center. So I'm thinking this is going to make our door. And I'm guessing these D6 screws are these long ones. So that's how I'm going to put this together for now. And it looks like a 1301B goes on this opposite side, such as that. So next up, we had to break out this box with all these plastic panels in it. Looks like they're all K letters. So whatever one went in there, K002, and we have two K001s. And then apparently the white part faces the sun. So for right now, we'll just stick that in there to kind of proof of concept that these are the right places to go. And then C1301A, well, no, I'm sorry, a C701 and a 2301 get screwed in. It's not really obvious what's top and bottom, so we'll take this 2301, and it has the same screw hole system. Looks like the C701 goes up at the top. So it appears as though the C1801 bolts up to here. So next up, looks as though these nylon rollers bolt. There's some Phillips head machine screws. The instructions aren't super clear, but it looks like on the opposite end, they just drop down in and the screw gets run through them. The screw comes in from the same side, but you have to drop this roller down in and get it lined up to that screw, which could prove difficult. And this will be a test of how well this camera works without the microphone. I'm assuming this is the opening roof window thing. The panel's M001. Screw together these sides and the top. It says the side with the peel off part goes towards the sun. It looks as though it's the only way this thing can go. Some of these pictogram instructions aren't super clear, and some of these channels don't fit as well as you would think they would either. So after much struggling, that panel's in there. You may have to spread these side panels open. This bottom piece, you kind of slip the little nuts in there, or bolts. At least this one's slotted. It looks as though this window prop, this VT1, screws on somewhere here. So I guess screws on there, but I think we're going to come back. We're going to come back for that one. Next up, the door goes on the track. It's like, doesn't want to stay on very well. Doesn't really tell you this, but I need to move this track down a little bit. Tighten up that fit some. And here at the end, it looks like it gets a bolt to act as a stop. So the pencil drawing picture is not real clear how they go in. And these panels are held in, but the legs go up in this channel. Okay, so we jumped ahead a little bit. It's the next weekend actually. We clipped in all these panels, the clear panels, and they come with locations on them, and then some of them drop in these little slots, and then the clip hooks, there's a lip under these edges, and the hook kind of clips in like that with this flat part, and that's what holds the panel in. So this is the movable window. It's not real clear in the directions, but I did kind of figure out that you can get it to slide in the peak right here. So it'll slide in. And then it'll kind of fit below this. It's a little bit of a tight fit. These panels don't fit the best in some spots. And I did find that some of these channels were bent. I had to bend them back open. So then you can latch it closed or just kind of pick a position. Latch it open. Then the door slides on these little rollers until it falls off. So you just have to be careful with the door. And it doesn't fit super tight, but I guess you don't want it completely sealed. And then also down here at the bottom, you might need to line up, squeeze these together and line it out before you tighten these bolts, because that's the lower track for the bottom rollers. So you got to kind of get that right. It comes with clips that you would clip over the edge and then run anchor bolts that it comes with down in, wedge anchors. I'm afraid it's going to explode these concrete blocks if I do that, so I'm going to take a little different approach. I'm going to use good old construction adhesive. Just have this picked up. I cleaned where the bottom track is going to sit. So I'll let that set a little while. Then I'll just ease it up and do the sides and the back the same way. So there we go, it's glued down, put a little stone in the front to act as an apron. We'll come back later after it's settled out a little bit. Level out the floor with something, maybe some gravel in there. And anyway, there you go. That's how to put together a tiny little backyard greenhouse. So I figured I'd do another quick follow-up without all the construction noise in the background. So we spread out some more of the gravel to the front. One kind of nice thing I forgot to mention by doing the little cinder block foundation is you can actually get a little more height out of this, because this thing's pretty tight inside. So yeah, I mean, if you're 6 feet tall, you're gonna have to duck. Also, I wanted to check the construction adhesive glue down method. And that thing is pretty solid, so that worked out pretty well. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.